With the Cheltenham Festival out of the way, all attention in the horse racing world moves on to Merseyside and to Aintree, where we have a wonderful 3 days of racing in store. So we only thought it right that we bring the gang back together for the Active Wins podcast. I myself, Bryn May, with a horse racing expert to my right in Jack Holmes, and another horse racing expert to my left, Luke Parkinson. So hopefully they'll be able to give you some guidance throughout the coming days. So we'll start with the first race on the Thursday, where Glen Forcer, one of the big gambles at Cheltenham who failed to come through, races. And Jack, you're not so keen on him, are you?
Glen Forcer's not my pick for the race. Was fancied at Cheltenham. Obviously, Defi Du Seuil was entered for this one, picked up a bit of a knock, so not at full fitness, and won't race. Therefore, my selection will be an each way and a win pick. I'll go for Us and Them, best price 8-1 at the moment. The JLT form had Lost in Translation and Mengli Khan just in behind Defi Du Seuil on the day. I'm not going to go with that form. I don't think Mengli Khan will be in the top three. Us and Them is my pick. I also think La Bagarra is a very good bet for this race.
Luke, you opposing Glen Forcer as well? Are you?
Not really. I won't have a massive fancy in this race. I've just had a look there. Kalashnikov would be worth another go. He was obviously a bit of a high horse last season, didn't quite do it. I think he went in the Supreme, didn't he? Second Sunville Boy, but maybe just on a flatter track at Aintree might just bring something back out of life into him.
My question with Kalashnikov has to be his jumping. Is that going to be good enough to win a race that good? I've always got my doubts about that horse. So not one I put my money with, but I see your angle.
So it sounds like La Bagarra is the one to choose in that one. So we move on now to the 220 and the catchily named Doombar Anniversary 4-year-old Juvenile Hurdle. And if that's not big enough a mouthful, well, how about some of these big old prices for you? Pentland Hills and Band of Outlaws head the betting. Band of Outlaws and Pentland Hills, of course, both winners at Cheltenham. But will the form carry over into Aintree, Jack?
Interesting. Obviously, Pentland Hills won against the odds. Impressive race, to be fair, and I think you'd agree, wouldn't you, Luke, on that one?
Yeah, definitely. Pentland Hills is also know plenty about from being involved with the owners group. Only run once at Plumpton, won quite nicely, but I don't think anyone was expecting that at 20-1 in the Triumph. But when you watch the race back, he won pretty easily in the end. There's only another one near him, and the rest of them were a few lengths behind that. So
yeah, of course, question marks because Sir Eric went out in that race, unfortunately.
I still think he's got plenty of class, and being only a 4-year-old, he's got plenty left to learn. So
exactly,
I question whether Aintree might be a bit quick off the back of Cheltenham, being so inexperienced. That might catch him out. There's one that I like, Christopher Wood, who actually missed Cheltenham in favour of coming here, so he could be one to watch. He's been backed in from 10s into 8s as well, Paul Nichols.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Christopher Wood. Obviously quite a handy flat horse, and that form's been translated over obstacles. So yeah, I like that angle. I think Band of Outlaws is classy. And
I was impressed with Band of Outlaws when he ran at Cheltenham. I thought it was a very good race.
I think that horse could turn it on. And I can envisage a race where Pentland Hills and Band of Outlaws are battling it out. And for me, I think Band of Outlaws just edges it.
So Band of Outlaws for Jack, Band of Outlaws for me. Luke, who are you taking in this
I'm
one?
going to have Christopher Wood go for one of the outsiders and see if he can spring a surprise with the... he hasn't got Cheltenham fatigue, so he can go straight there fresh.
He bangs in the goals for Burnley. Can he bang in a winner at Aintree? We'll find out. 250 now, and we've got the Betway Bowl, and we have got 3 horses who all possess leading claims in this race. Clan Des Bow, Kenboy and Bristol de Meyer. Now all 3 raced off against each other in the Gold Cup. Clan Des Bow heads the betting, yet was beaten by Bristol de Meyer in the Gold Cup. Jack?
For me, the extra distance didn't suit Clan on the day, and this race is all about Clan Des Obo for me. Kenboy unlucky, obviously, unseated the rider early on, so didn't go on to fulfil his potential in that race. I just can't see past Clan at this distance. Gold Cup was too long, too far for him. The couple of extra furlongs just didn't stay. I think that Clan and Kenboy forecast would be my bet in this one.
Very interesting. Luke, are you opposing your 3 favourites, or are you picking one of them?
No, I'm going to go with Clan. I just don't think Cheltenham's his track. He's been there a few times, odds on favourite and been beat, I think, every time. He was fancy for the Gold Cup, didn't go off favourite quite, but I don't think he was ever going to get up that hill. I was speaking to one of his owners the other day, actually, and he was a bit scared that he's going to become like just a flat track horse, but from his form, I'd suggest that's probably what he is, and I think he could rip up the track at Aintree like he did at Kempton.
Yeah, look, if he gets in a nice rhythm, probably the best jumper in the race, and the distance and flat track will be ideal. So for me, that race is all about Clonders Oboe. I think if the ground gets really soft, then Elegant escapes him with a bit of a shout, but no, it's all about Clan for me, that one.
Well, I for one, not that I am the horse racing expert like these two, but I'm going to disagree. Bristol de Meyer was my pick for the National. Ran well in the Gold Cup. Nigel Twiston-Davies has shifted him into this race, and I think he has got a great chance of upsetting Sir Alex Ferguson and Clonders Oboe. Of course, you may remember on day 1 of Cheltenham, there was a big old gamble. Buvardere, Lorena and Apples Jade all going for glory. None of them won.
What a race it was.
What a race it was indeed. But Buvardere is back out at Aintree, trying to get some punters some money back. He goes off. He will surely go off as an odds-on favourite here. Can he get some glory, Jack Holmes?
Short answer, yes, in my opinion. I think he would have won on the day if he'd have not fallen at Cheltenham. I think Buvardere is the only bet in this race for me, other than perhaps Super Sundays an each way bet.
I'm the opposite, to be honest. I think Buvardere's the lay of Aintree to have going up from 2 miles, 2 mile to 2 mile 4. I think this race is. Just double check me. In fact, yeah, 2 mile 4. Like, he won this race a few years ago, but he beat My Tent or Yours, and the new one are just serial losers for me. Whereas there's some decent horses in behind him here. Melon, Faheen, Super Sunday, even Chitabello. He won at the festival, so.
Chitabello's an interesting one, I think.
He's got it all to do for me, Buvardere. I can't quite decide which one I'm with. I think Melon ran well from the front at Cheltenham. Faheen's probably a bit of a guessing game, dropping back down from 3 miles. I don't really think he's got the speed for this anymore. Super Sunday seems to be fairly consistent, so maybe he's worth a go at 10 to 1.
Yeah, Buvardere's up against it, but you've got to look at the field and look what's there, what's going to beat him. Melon, I don't think's quite got the class. Faheen, obviously fantastic horse 2 years ago or so. Super Sunday, that's one that's interesting for me. Chitabello, obviously a nice one at the festival, but none of them are the class of Buvardere. So for me, that's the only bet in that race, really, in my opinion. But I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
So we've got the lay of the festival and one of the bets of the festival. So you've got to make your own minds up on this one, I'm afraid.